So with me today is Greg, and we're out in the field with you today, Greg. And I actually got asked at training last week, I said, how's Greg going? So I thought, actually, how is he going? So we'll call you up, and you've been kind enough to let us come out to you today on a really busy day. So for those who don't know, Greg gave gyms the flick nearly 11 months ago. Yeah, so how's everything been going?
Really, really good. I'm super busy. Spring's hit now, so I'm sort of like completely run off my feet. I'm doing decent money-wise, so really happy.
You look great, mate. You look really trim.
Yeah, absolutely. Lost a bit of weight.
You've got a really good beard. You're doing a great beard. It looks really good. But
going from here up to here.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So you're nearly a year in business. So how's it been? Because the first 12 months is always the toughest. So how's the journey been so far?
It's been really good. Like, the start was a bit of a hit the ground running, have no idea what I'm doing. I got 20 leads on my first day, and I'm not exaggerating. That was exactly 20 leads, and I'm sort of trying to do all of this work, like trying to answer everybody's calls and try and figure out scheduling and all of that to start with. I did too much at once to start with. So now I'm at the point where I can realize what can I do, what jobs to say no to, what jobs to say yes to, how long it takes me to do things. Like if I've got a job where I'm not sure, I'll usually leave myself an extra couple of hours, and if I get it done early, get an early finish. And so I figured out how it all works a little bit more, and that's quite good. Yeah,
because if you haven't seen Greg's story, you can go to the channel and see it. But yeah, to give you context, Greg, Charles behind the camera now holding the camera, you were doing that. Yep. So, and editing all day, right? So you got from sitting behind a computer, all of a sudden, I wanted to do a change. Jim's not paying me enough. I've got to do my own thing.
All of that.
Yeah, Greg, Jim says hi as well. And then get into the, and then you've gone to the 6-day training and you've gone straight into it. So from a completely big career shift. So looking back now to when you started, what was some maybe pieces of advice you give yourself back if you were starting again?
Yeah, probably call my franchisor more.
Aaron, yep.
I did call him quite a lot, but I mean, there's so many things there's no silly questions. And there's so many things where it's just sort of like, how do I go about trimming something? Like, one of these, like the Agapanthus, I had no idea what I was doing when I was trimming it. And that's something which, like, just a 5-minute phone call and he can give you a bit of advice. Just something like that, I think would have been a little bit better for me to do more calls. Yeah,
well, that's the thing. Like, people might be embarrassed, so they might not be used to asking people for help, and they might be hard. So asking for help, was there anything else as well that you thought, if you started again, what would maybe help me a bit more?
Yeah, I guess, like I said, with the scheduling and that, leave yourself a little bit too much time, if anything. I hate feeling rushed, and that's one big thing for me where I'm sort of like, I prefer to give myself too much time, know I can take my time, do the job properly, because I find if I'm sort of cramming them all in, you cut corners, things like that, which I really hate doing. So it's sort of something which I have learned over time,
Yeah, that's the key, because you get excited, you want to take on all these quotes as much as possible, then you can get overwhelmed. So the advice there, maybe don't get 20 leads in the first day, maybe.
That's it.
Maybe put yourself down and ask your franchisor a bit more as well. But how have you just found the transition? So you've come out of the office working for Jim, obviously didn't pay you enough. You came in the field. So how's the transition been, just from doing something completely unrelated to this?
Yeah, really, really good. Like, I'll say this is the first job I've ever had which I feel hasn't had a negative effect on my mental health. So I'm outside every day, choose when I work, how much I get paid. And yeah, like I've got no complaints in that regard. It's like the best thing I could have done, I reckon.
And how's the body been?
Yeah, good. Lots of little problems over time. Like I've got a bit of trigger finger, which I'm using the battery gear now to try and help with. Had a bit of an issue with the back, just sort of going from not standing to like 8 hours on my feet every day. But now I'm getting to the point where, I'm pretty good. I mean, I still get exhausted if you do a big day, but the body's...
That's a good feeling from what I can tell. You're out there, you're getting paid to do physical work all day, and you're in, as you said, for mental health. I think it's a really undersold thing. When we do a lot of these interviews, the thing I keep hearing now is that the mental health improves drastically from these corporate and stressed environments. They're coming out here like this is your office, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, absolutely.
And how's the vehicle going? Because Charles can see behind us, you go with that setup, which is not it's slowly coming in more, that setup. So how's that sort of been going with that vehicle?
Really, really good. It's helpful for doing the smaller, like pain in the butt driveways and things like that. Like, I've got a couple up in like Furniture Gully where if I had a trailer, I genuinely don't know if I'd be able to do them. So having that kind of maneuverability is good. Biggest drawback is the amount of green waste that I can fit. Obviously a lot less than what you'd have with a trailer. But for me, I let my customers know that, And then if they want me to take away a lot, I just charge them. Like if I've got to do 2 trips, then I charge for 2 trips.
What's the size of your business currently? How many regulars you got?
55 regulars, which I'm pretty happy with considering I didn't start with a split. So I'm from the ground up.
You went from the ground up and you started. I remember we interviewed you back then, and going into winter was a little bit tougher for you. But you're through that now. So how are you finding the level of work now and all that sort of stuff?
Yeah, it's doubled. Like honestly, since spring has hit, like a lot of my clients were monthly, and now that we've all gone to 2 weeks, so it's sort of still got the odd monthly client here and there, but like it's just sort of I've got about 3 days every week is just immediately filled up with regulars. And then the rest I can do the once-off jobs or the bigger jobs, things like that.
Now, from doing all the interviews and videos that you did with me back in the day with interviewing franchisees, what's the stuff from doing those interviews that now, because you would have heard it so much, what was the stuff that really stood out to you? Like, I heard this all the time, that's true in the field, or that you're finding out as well is actually 100% accurate?
Yeah, I guess I'll say family time, just the ability to take that, like, just to sort of say, okay, I've got this event on, I'm gonna take the day off, that kind of thing. Like being able to schedule yourself is something which you just cannot do when you're on a wage, and it's just like you can take a sickie or whatever, but you can't do that regularly. Whereas now I can just be sort of like, you know what, every second Friday I don't feel like working, cool, I won't.
Good.
And it's just sort of that freedom is just inexplicable.
I asked you this last time, but I'll ask it again to be a bit cheeky. How much, you have to say exactly, but how much more money you get making now than what Jim was paying you back when you were in the office?
I actually looked at my profit and loss, as we had the conversation, I had a look. I'm on, for the year, since I started the business, I'm on, I think, 65,000. And that's profit. So that's after all the stuff in the business. I think I'm on 90 something in terms of business just coming in. But obviously you've got all the costs and bits and pieces. And at the moment I'm actually owed about $7,000, so on top. So
hopefully they pay.
They will. Absolutely.
So overall you're far better than obviously when
100%.
You were.
So much better.
And I think the great thing for us is, like, from our point of view, is like, you come out and you do all the videos and interviews, and people might look at it and go, I don't know, that could be an actor, or all set up. So it's great to have you who are interviewing and hearing all these things, and you've come and done it yourself, and you see that it's 100% true of what you see and what you hear online is what yourself is. And well done on your success, mate. Greg, thank you very much for your time today. We really do appreciate it. If you're thinking about Jim's Mowing, jimsmowing.com.au, or call 131546 and give your boss the flip like he did to us. We're sorry to lose him, but we're very happy as well that he's kicking some real goals, and we're really, really proud of what Greg's been able to do. So thanks, mate, for your time today.
All good.
Thank you.